Assalamu alaikum. This is Brother Clifton Raheem Bradley, and you're watching the Underground Railroad. I know we usually come on Saturday nights at 10:30. Had to get their plug in. But we're going to be talking about Cook County, Statesville. We're going to be talking about Muddy Water, if it still exists. I don't even know if St. Charles still exists no more. And Mayor Lightfoot, and Father Flagger, and Tom Dart. But you know what? Let me go ahead, because y'all probably tired of me talking anyway. Let me go to my co-host. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Walaikum salam.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Joshua Williams. I am the father of King Walker. My son, over 5 years ago, was kidnapped in Gary, Indiana, and we have yet to receive any help from them or, really get the, the things and the support that we need to get answers in this situation. So hopefully by me being on the show today, I can shed light on it and get those, kind-hearted people to, get involved, ask questions, and even put forth some action.
And how to the brothers of the Masjid?
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum to all the brothers of the Masjid.
Okay. Masjid al-Farouk and Masjid al-Fatih. That's where I go. But let me come to this is the man of the moment. This is the man of the hour. This is the man that has been helping people in prison for years. His name is Mark Clement. So I'm going to try to get on this show. But anyway, he has been helping people. He is an advocate. He's been locked up. Like I said, I've been locked up. I ain't going to say what I did. People watching this on YouTube already know already. But anyway, please tell us about yourself, and then we're going to get on down to business, brother.
And
live show. Call in to.
It is something that America has tried to ignore, and that is incarceration, mass incarceration. Back in 1981, I was a 16-year-old kid in the city of Chicago, and I was taken down to Area 3 violent crimes, where I found myself being tortured. I was tortured to confess to 4 murders. An arson fire occurred on the south side of Chicago, 66 in Wentworth, in which 4 people died. And this was a heat burner for the city of Chicago to find out who was responsible. Being taken down to the police station, I found myself having my genitals and testicles grabbed and squeezed, and while I was called racial epithets by members of the police department. Well, going through this, with a young, tender mind, what you're thinking of is, okay, well, let me reach out to some of our leaders. And back then, our leaders were primarily Lou Palmer, Jesse Jackson, as well as a few others. But the whole thing is that these tortures were able to occur by men and women being picked off in their communities, kidnapped, taken to police stations, and framed with crimes. I was sentenced to 4 counts of natural life, told that I would die in prison, and literally sat there until 2009 when I was freed from the prison system, and coming back into this society is a great challenge.
Hope you get yourself a great lawyer. Okay, but because that's a lawsuit. Okay, but what I want to ask, this is real quick, because you know what, your organization and your people, y'all was like, man, trying to help Father Flagger. And the charges against Father Flagger at St. Sabina's Church was dismissed. And I know that your people put on a hell of a lot of pressure. If you want to talk about that briefly, care not to comment, let me know.
Well,
St. Sabina's Church, let me let people know, it's in Chicago. It's at 78th and Racine. Okay.
Well, what we have tendencies of doing, we look at people today and we recognize them for their hard work and their dedication today. But when the person now finds himself into a difficult situation, what we do, we turn our backs. And, the bottom line of it is both African-American brothers, and one of them was a police officer, and the other one, I don't know what he did, but just using common sense with one being a police officer, would it take them 40 long years to come forward with claims of sexual misconduct against someone? I don't think so, and I think that what this was an act of extortion. And the extortion was basically hammered out by the Chicago Tribune as they explained that one young man was seeking $10,000 from Father Pfleger, and he tried to clean it up by claiming that, well, he only asked for the money to see if Father Pfleger would give him the money. Well, let me tell you, this is something that causes trauma, and not only just trauma, but it sticks with a person the rest of their lives. And if this person was really victimized, they're not looking for money, they're looking for justice.
Okay, you got a question for the brother?
I'm really kind of like in between because, you know, when people,
No, you got a question for the brother.
oh,
Okay.
no, not about the situation, really. I was just going to comment.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
You know, when people get into power, they get connections, and they feel like they can do certain things and get away with them. So in that situation, you have to look from the person who's making the claim and who's the you know, the responsible person. You know what I'm saying? Are they capable of doing this? You know, and what's the purpose, real purpose behind it? You know what I'm saying? Because you hear a lot about priests doing things to kids.
And you know, one thing that I just want to respond to the brother quickly. Let me tell you, we all capable of doing some ugly things, believe it or not. We human beings. The problem here with this case with Father Pfleger is if this young man had been victimized, why he didn't bring this out, and it took him 40 long years to bring this claim out as to what he was accusing Father Pfleger of doing. I look at it as a witch hunt, and it's a witch hunt to try to silence us when we try to progress and to move forward in establishing rights. And when we tell you, I'm very vocal. If I would have felt that Father Pfleger participated in these acts in any type of a way, I would completely bag up.
You know what? It's a question that's really, really bothering me. You know what? I know that you advocate on the people at Statesville Prison, Cook County, Muddy Water. I don't even know if St. Charles is open. Dixon. Are the inmates being abused in these prisons? I will ask you about Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover later on. Next question. But are they being abused in the jail by the guards? And do you think that the guards should wear body cams? Not one body cam, but two body cams to ensure that they do their jobs and they don't mistreat them and they don't have an excuse to say, you know what, my body cam wasn't working.
Well, I think that inside of our prisons, it's a lot known, and it's a lot that has been recorded by the general footage of video cams that they have around the facility. The lack of integrity has come from people like your governors. The lack of integrity has come from your leaders. And it's all about the fact of trying to cover something up and to try to make it appear like it's not. Yes, they're being abused. They're being abused due to the fact that they can be abused by individuals that come in and out of the prisons each and every day who are given policies really that makes no common sense. They dictate slavery.
Going back to the question, do you think that the correctional officers that are in Illinois, should they have body cams? Because some of them have done abusive things and they should not have one body cam, two, so they can never have an excuse. I'm asking.
Well, yes, but just knowing how this government works, it'll be lucky if we are able to get one on them, less long than the two. I feel pretty confident, and I think I speak for the brothers and sisters that are incarcerated. They would feel very, very good just to get each correctional guard with one cam
But my pretext about them having two, they can never have an excuse that it went out. That's what I was, but I see what you're saying. You got a question?
No, I don't have a question.
Okay.
Okay. You know what, next, what I would like to know, you said within Cook County Jail, in Chicago, Illinois, there are people that are running around with the virus, the coronavirus. Mm-hmm. Now, what I would like to know is, you say it's something that they should be doing that they're not doing. What are they doing incorrectly about people that have the coronavirus that they have contracted inside all these prisons in Illinois?
Well, first of all, they need to shut down each and every jail and each and every prison in the state, and they need to clean them up. And then each and every individual that leave or enter inside of them, they need to start to test them for this virus. What most people fail to realize is that the prisons are so overwhelmed, the jails are so overwhelmed, which the guards, they don't want to do that work. And I think that it has told off against them due to the fact that they have had outbreaks of hundreds, if not thousands of individuals.
The Statesville prison people looking at. Go ahead.
Yes, Statesville, the Cook County Jail, as well as Dixon. Dixon just got over a very major outbreak from January into early February, in which at least 20 inmates lost their lives sitting in those conditions. Prisons and jails are dirty. Everyone out here knows that they are dirty and that they're unsanitized. But when it comes to at least establishing some type of piece of legislation, people fall short. Mm-hmm. We need legislation to make the system accountable. And that's one thing that I like about what the governor signed, and that was the Illinois Pretrial Fairness Act, which now it makes the police criminally liable if they don't provide you with at least 3 telephone calls before their initial interrogation process. Now, we're talking about Chicago police tortures. I think that would curb Chicago police tortures to a large degree. Nothing is perfect, but in reality, if you get 3 telephone calls, that means you should have the opportunity to call your family, an attorney, and someone else out in the community to sound the red flag. It's not like it was when I was a 16-year-old kid taken down to the police station, held incommunicado, and they would not even attempt to contact my parents.
Let me tell people, this is a live television show, and if you want to call in and you have a question, please, you know what, because Mark Clements is here, he's in the house, and he's an individual that has been advocating on the behalf of inmates, him and his organization. Been not to say you, but somebody in your organization may get mad, although you the head. But you got a question for him?
This is my first time meeting you, so what's the name of your organization?
Chicago Torture Justice Center out of Chicago. Also Black Lives Matters out of Chicago. Also the Chicago Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression, but I work along with a subgroup which is called CFIS, and what we do is we try to hold police officers accountable for their acts while working to free men and women that are inside of prisons based off of wrongful convictions out of them. A lot of people think all you have to do is go tell the judge that you're innocent. Right. No, it takes a hell of a lot before you are able to convince. They make big money off of this stuff. And the thing about it, eyes don't see about all the big money that they make. And the politicians, most of them moved up the ladder based off of covering it up. And, you know, the whole thing is when is we as a people going to become sick and tired? When are we going to say enough is enough? We know these things exist. It ain't about your family. It ain't about this one's family. It has to be as a totality, and you have to confront these people to change these conditions, or else you just keeping them intact, and they will be out to be used against your grandchildren. They don't never have to lock you up.
You know, I'm take this question is out of sequence, because I got another question about the mayor and Tom Dart. But you know what? Larry Hoover is in jail right now. He used to be the leader of the GDs, the Gangster Disciples. Okay, and the brother Jeff Ford, I think he has relatives here in Chicago. They are locked up for the rest of their lives. And I believe that they have a certain amount of control out here on these streets. Should they let Larry Hoover, the leader of the Gangster Disciples, out, and Jeff Ford, and I don't even know who the leader of the Latin Kings out, should they let them out of jail if they make a pledge we will come back to our communities and use our influence to normalize things? Should they let them out? I think Jeff Ford is in Marion. That's what I think he's in.
No, Jeff, Gino, as well as Larry is in Colorado,
Okay.
the Supermax prison. They're 40 feet underground. And my answer to that is yes, they should release Gino, they should release Jeff Ford, they should release Larry Hoover. You know,
who's the Latin Kings leader? I don't even know who the Latin. Gino, okay.
Right. I don't believe anyone should be incarcerated a day over 10 years. And the reason why I say that is because if the person haven't changed within the 10 years, they're never going to change. And the thing about it is people can only change based off upon programs and opportunities that is provided to them. You know, as much as people are pointing fingers at all three of these brothers, the system is just as guilty for not providing them with the social services. We do not have one mental health facility on the south side of Chicago, which is an outrage, taking in consideration of the traumas that people in the black and brown communities face right now today. There's people right now as I speak, maybe their child is laid and stretched out in the middle of the street. Their whole option made available to them is to go home, sleep it off, and act like they can shake it off and then bounce back and come back as a better person. No, these people need services that are being stripped from them by government.
Okay. To inform people this is a live show, they must be very listening intensely because we don't get no telephone calls. So we on YouTube, we on television, people watch. So your question, your opinion, they should let the leader of Black Kings out and Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover if they make a pledge to help to make the community better.
But what purpose does it serve society right now today that they're locked up?
Some people, I'm going to play the advocate. Some people say, you know what? They did crimes against humanity. And they get what they. There's another side to it. What you say to other people? Our own government is doing crimes against us right now. The same thing they said illegal, they made illegal like methane and shooting up and marijuana. The same thing that they said Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover did. They dropped the bomb on Hiroshima. Okay, the same thing they did. They in jail for. Wait, we got a caller. Like you respond. Yes. Go ahead, caller. Okay. I'm saying the same attached to the things they said Larry Hoover. Okay. Go ahead, caller. We don't hear anything. Okay, we don't hear anything. So call it so we have some technical difficulties back. Okay? But I'm saying it's the same things they have made illegal. They made it illegal. Now it's legal. What you say about that? You've been killing people in the war. You know us, but go
Retroactive plans that government put and conditions of genocide. In other words, genocide this is slavery, and it's a tool of slavery. We still caught up in slavery, even though some brothers are able to do a little bit better than other brothers and sisters, but at the end of the day, we are still viewed as that N-word, and we are still treated as that N-word. And as I stated before, I don't believe that no one, I don't care what they have done in this society.
Go ahead.
I don't believe it's government's responsibility. If you incarcerate the body, you should have the responsibility to, guess what, educate these brothers and to stabilize them. They know that they have no intentions of stabilizing them, and that's why they give them all this prison time. And these brothers sitting behind these prisons for 30 and 40 years, and when they come back out, they're old, can't adjust. There's no programs that are made available to them. That's slavery.
We got to go ahead, Carl. Go ahead and beat the drums. Go ahead. Go ahead, Carl. You got to turn it up in the control room. Okay. You know what? The
question is, let's just say,
Carl. Go ahead. Yeah, we can barely hear you. Go ahead. Can you hear me?
But really, that's for China. But I think I paid on every day. I think people
very late.
Oh,
So, Lori Lightfoot is real. Lori Lightfoot don't take money. It's not like people don't know what Lori Lightfoot has done. People have buried, like they have buried with the rest of these politicians. In other words, we have the whole politicians accountable, and the knowledge that you have, that's a start. Before Lori Lightfoot even made office, I said down Lori Lightfoot, and the bottom line of it is that she made some promises that has never materialized, and I'm still waiting on the office of returning citizens to be implemented through her office, and it has not. She made these promises based off of having a brother that was incarcerated and claiming that she wanted to do good for brothers and sisters that were coming out of our prison.
Say, he got a great TV show. But go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. I like the show that you're doing. There's an old saying that crime don't pay, but crime does pay. I remember when it used to be called 26 California, now all the way down to 37th Street. Brother, the question I have about the panel within the we understand that there's a lot of people in prison, there's a lot of people in the county jail, and the majority of all those people look like you and I. So to say it's not going to go that way. But what can we do to stop young fellas and sisters to fall in that trap, to get caught up like that? See that a lot of them have not even started the city of Chicago. The only place they ever made it to was down to Illinois. So what can we do to prevent them, and also when they're released, what can we do to keep them from going back? The recidivism rate is 80%.
Assalamu alaikum.
Good question. But the first thing we need to do, we need money. And people, especially African American people, they have not been forthcoming with shelling bucks into their own communities. They have shelled bucks into other people's communities, but they have ignored their own. And individuals return back. That's a legislative issue in which our governor, in which our mayor, and which our elected officials need to take a upon, and that is they need to go back to the way that they used to do. And that is, you were not to be released unless IDOC found you a job. And you have a job that takes away your time roaming the streets, takes away from your thinking ability and activity. These brothers need an opportunity. And from a slave point of view, man, we got a lot of work to do because we hate each other. And when we hate each other, we just fall right into the umbrella of this system. What did Lori Lightfoot promise? He promised all sorts of reforms in the police department. What have we seen? We have gotten what they call sour grapes in the forms of justice, even down to our governor. I remember sitting down with him more than 2
Governor
hours.
Pritzker. Okay.
Yes, over at Operation Push, talking to him about the torture cases, and he made all sorts of promises. The key of it is holding them to the fire. It's hard out there because you really become to be a marked person speaking out against the system because they control 99% of these jobs that are dished out to poor black folks. And a lot of people is not willing to at least put themselves where that now they're blackballed and they can't survive and their family can't eat. And it's hard. It goes on the standards of damn if you do and damn if you don't. But it all comes down. Where's Oprah? I haven't heard about Oprah giving $50 million to the south side of Chicago to help them out. But she gave Barack Obama 25 and another 50 mil. Well, give us half of that amount of money, and I think that you will see some change. These brothers can't change because all they know is the streets, and when they go to prison, they are somewhat rewarded for their bad behavior.
Yeah, this is real quick and brief. This brother's going to ask a question. First of all, you know what? This brother has a Facebook show that comes on every single night. So how do they see podcasts on Facebook?
Well, first of all, Facebook now is becoming a problem because you can't play your little music, and it's innocent music, okay? And you can't put on the what they call it when you can screenshot and you can show certain things live. And so I think that's becoming a problem, and Instagram is the one that's booming now.
So that's the one you're going to primarily going to be dealing with.
It's Instagram. All they have to do is look my name up, Mark Clements, ask to be my friend. I even let the devil in. I don't deny no one as a friend. The bottom line of it is I just hope that people are ready to engage rather than to be on lunacy.
Tell y'all something funny. He's tired of me being on this page. Go ahead, brother. You got a question.
Yeah. Now, as far as, getting programs funded, how about, have you decided to just do things on your own without relying on the mayor and the